You know, there's a delicious irony to the Empires games, and that's that they're made so they don't alienate the casual player, and yet the main people that buy the games are the hardcore ones. Just fuel for your thoughts. Hello my gravy granules, here's my long-awaited video on what I think would vastly improve the Empire series of Warriors games. Before we get started, I should outline some of the differences in the games so we're all on the same page. The Empires games are a spin-off of traditional Warriors games where you build your own kingdom and try and unite the land under your own time. However, with this, each series have their own spin on this. For these examples, I will be using just the latest games in each series, those being Samurai Warriors 4 Empires and Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. Otherwise, we'll be here all fucking day. In Dynasty Empires, you pick a single character and you can spend your in-game life however you want. You can be a free officer, form a vagabond unit with other free officers. You can also choose who to serve freely, and because you're only living the life of one officer, you are free to defect to another kingdom or start a kingdom of your own. The latest game has also added a free mode feature which allows you to just play any of the historical battles, quest battles, and my favourite raid scenarios, which are special battles which really test your skills and patience. In-game months, or turns if you will, are spent bolstering your kingdom's resources, maintaining friendships, engaging in battle, or just simply trying to fuck over other kingdoms. But you can only do one of these options per turn though. Bolstering your kingdom and fucking over others requires policies. Policies are made available to you with the allies you have in your kingdom. For example, recruiting Shunyo enables you to use the slander command, and Saicai will give you the talentscape policy. Or some shit, I haven't looked this up. Battles in games stay relatively the same from previous games. Capture bases until you reach the enemy main camp or commander. However, there's a twist with MOBA-like skills called stratagems. Stratagems are skills that can affect you or your allies in battle, ranging from attack buffs to flood attacks. They can even change the weather. Strategies are always available to you, providing you unlock them in the bonus menu or bought them from the shop. In addition to normal battles, there are raids, which are mini battles basically, 3 versus 3, and quests. Quests vary from escorting officers to the escape point, guarding NPCs, villagers for example, fighting a vagabond unit consisting of powerful officers, assassinations and stealing resources, the latter two counting as stealth missions. Some of these are quite fun but could be implemented better. Samurai Empires on the other hand is clan based, meaning that you cannot betray your clan in any form. You're stuck with them until the end of time. As far as I'm aware, no one will actively betray their clan unless using a certain tactic, which is ironic for a series that puts massive amounts of emphasis on the betrayal at Hinoji.
Tell me why.
The game is split into 2 distinct parts, a politics phase and a battle phase. Politics phase, like the name suggests, is where you pick up to a maximum of 5 of your officers' policies. Like Dynasty, it includes character relations and maintaining resources, but in addition to this, you can also pick battlefield tactics and formations, which can only be used once per battle before you have to buy them again, which quite frankly is fucking annoying, especially as you're limited to 4 tactics and 3 formations per battle. However, the AI being cheating cunts can use more than that. One major difference to the series is that in Dynasty Warriors, when you have to defend a province, any officer you have anywhere can protect it. Just, no matter where they are, they could be on the opposite side of the fucking map. Whereas in Samurai Warriors, your officers have to be in at least the province next to the one being attacked in order to be able to participate in the battle. So there's some strategy, I use that phrase lightly. It keeps you from spreading your forces too thin across the campaign map. So now let's list what should be improved. This can be for both series of games. I may or may not say which series it'd be more suited to. Firstly, not really game specific, but one of the main problems with the games is that they're just shoveled out with every main release, like it's what everyone wants. As far as I'm aware, the teams that work on the main games are the same ones that work on the Empires ones, so as soon as one game is released, they'll start work on an expansion, Extreme Legends and then Empires. Which for the Dynasty series, there's 3 games in just under 2 years. I think it'd be far more beneficial for Koei to work on the games side by side, or actually, fucking spend some time on the games, instead of just rushing them out like a fucking Assassin's Creed game. You know how great those are. I'm looking at Assassin's Creed Unity, by the way. One major change that needs to happen in the series is diplomacy. At the moment, alliances are just a translation of the phrase, "We won't attack you for X amount of turns, but we'll fuck your shit up after that last turn comes." In Dynasty Warriors 4 Empires, you can send an officer to join an ally's attack or ask them to assist you, which they'll always send one unit in return. In newer games of both series, your allies will nearly always join you, 2 units anyway. And if enemies are allied, which is nearly always, they too get reinforcements. Interestingly, in Samurai Warriors Empires, you have to ask for allied reinforcements, whereas the enemy don't. Another bit of nice cheating there. Another thing to note is that it doesn't matter if the province the reinforcements come from is adjacent to you. You can be on the opposite sides of the map from each other and they'll still come marching to help you, or in the enemy's case, kill your ass. Try and kill my ass, that is. I'd like to see things like building relationships between factions. Currently, each series it's a massive free-for-all between parties. I'd like to see some sort of indicator to whether or not clans like you or not. If the clan does like you, they won't attack you randomly, and if they hate you, they'll assist your enemies and will focus on trying to destroy your faction. Another addition, marriage between factions and forming a long-term alliance. The vanilla games always allude to this, but Empires only do it so you're married to someone in the same faction. Interestingly, in one of the scenarios in Samurai Warriors 4, you are in a permanent alliance with other factions which you cannot break under any circumstance. And you can't actually do it in the normal game in any other scenario, you start out like it. Just a thought. So Koei can do these things, but they just choose not to? Make you think. The campaign map needs a major overhaul too. Now with the release of Samurai Warriors Sanada Maru and Koei's long-standing Nobunaga's Ambition series, Koei is shown to be able to make fully 3D campaign maps, much like those in Total War games. Now, if this is a change they'd implement, you'd have to also change the movement of units, from just jumping from province to province to a more move your entire army on the 3D map type of thing. So basically, the jump creative assembly made with medieval Total War to Rome Total War. This would provide another layer of strategy to the games, so if you saw an enemy heading towards your castle, you can attack them early or bolster your defences, instead of this opportunistic cowardice that the AI in Samurai Warriors fucking love. So basically, as soon as you leave a castle, the AI will attack it, but if you reload the save and don't move, they won't attack you. Just saying. It'd also solve the problem you get in some of the games, where no one attacks for years and years. There'll just be a constant stalemate of nobody doing fucking anything. If anything, hearing the tidbits of info about Dynasty Warriors 9, this sounds like the way the next Empires game will be heading. Well, presumably if there is one. But knowing Koei, it could just be 8 Empires with new character skins. In conjunction with the last change, another major change that needs to happen is battles. Well, types of battles anyway. There needs to be just normal battles, field battles if you will, like ones without a castle or major stronghold. It's slightly annoying that provinces get captured as soon as you attack. Not every battle in game should be capturing the province straight away, and Koei knows that's not how wars are fought. So going on from the 3D map thing, if you have an army lose a field battle, your officers retreat to the nearest castle, or they get captured if they use up all their troops. Second battle type, proper siege battles, let you attack and take the provincial capital of a province. This is the kind of change I'm kind of expecting Koei will make with Dynasty Warriors games for a couple of reasons. As of the announcement of Dynasty Warriors 9 being open world, it is supposedly reported that they're making a map of all China, meaning there's going to be vast open space of fuck all in, and few castles dotted around the place. 2. The Dynasty series has a larger pool of maps to choose from. There's always unused maps in the Dynasty Warriors Empire series, but in Samurai Warriors they reused the same map over and over again. Just flip the map on their side and nobody will fucking realise. And 3. The main series of Dynasty Warriors games has had siege weapons in them before, and even things like catapults and ladders started appearing since Dynasty Warriors 6. It'd be an interesting take, having to defend siege weapons while you try and break down the walls, or try and destroy them before it's too late if you're the defender. It would really shake up the formula of the games instead of just the usual capturing of bases until you reach the enemy commander. If you lose these battles, your officers in the castle will lost, captured, disbanded, whatever, go home to have tea with their mum, fist their girlfriends or something. It'd be good. You can actually have a chance to defend your castle from the inside. You're not just placed outside. And I hate that. Some provinces, when you defend it, it's just an open field. The Battle of Nanzhong, I think, in Dynasty Warriors 8 is one of these battles. And the final potential battle would be ambush battles, say if you have a ninja in your army or whatnot. I haven't really thought this one through, so bear with me. So imagine the normal series of games where there's battles where you chase down the enemy commander or escort your allied commander. Yeah, basically like that, with more tactical stuff. Make these battles shorter, enemies can't respawn due to distress, whatever. It'd be quite interesting if you just sort of hide in the woods or whatnot. Characters. One of the slight problems for the Dynasty Warriors series, if you can call it a problem, is that because the games are a make your own story type of game, characters are blank slates for the most part, and most, if not all, relationships are reset, even with their own children, which is a bit confusing. However, despite them being quote-unquote blank characters, their personalities aren't really changed or removed, so you can make a kind-hearted Dong Zhuo or a mass-murdering Liu Bei, but their in-game dialogue still stays the same as their Koei-issued personality. And on the complete opposite side, the characters of Samurai Warriors remain somewhat intact, and they even have some new unique lines towards each other. I think Kai and Kojiro Katakura are the one that springs to mind off the top of my head. Although some of the characters have, let's say, questionable relationships in 4 empires affect how effective they are as magistrates and how effective their facility is. The relations are either bad or good, which can level up to excellent if the officers are friends or married or sworn brothers or whatnot. As far as I know, custom characters just randomly will or will not get on with another, even if you pick the exact same settings for them. For all other officers in the game, it's predetermined what their relationship is. Some are, let's say, quite questionable. I'm bringing this guy up again, I bring him up every video, but Toshiie Maeda, famous for being a lifelong rival of and not getting on with Ieyasu Tokugawa, and in game they get along as friends. Truly sickening. Anyway, what I'd like to see is a setting to separate these two situations. So if you like playing as your generic bland officer with Sunjian skin, you should be able to, but if you also like your mass murdering Nobunaga, you should be allowed that too. I'd also like to see some of the dialogue change based on the character's karmic standpoint. So if you did decide your Liu Bei is a butcher of peons, then he'll no longer spout on about virtue all the time. Just a thought. It's a nice bit of cognitive dissonance to be a mass murdering Liu Bei and then go on about fucking virtue and benevolence all the time. Just a thought. Finally, difficulty. Well, this is mainly for the Samurai series. The latest game gives the illusion that difficulty of battles depends on 4 factors: amount of troops, troop strength, formation, and castle defences, when in reality it's only the amount of troops on either side that makes the game difficult. If the enemy outnumber you even slightly, they become killing machines capable of taking a Musou to the face and still live. And I'm just talking about the basic peons here. The games need to balance the difficulty on a combination of things like resource management, diplomacy, army composition, balancing out strong and weak officers so they level up, and AI aggression. They could improve the game's strategic difficulty on the battlefield by either 1. Associating officers with a particular unit type, so for example spearmen, swordsmen and cavalry, and then make those officers better against different ones. Example, spears beat cavalry, cavalry beats swordsman, swordsman beats spear, etc, etc. Or 2, similar to 1, associate officers to a unit type, like one of the hidden features in the best Dynasty Warriors, aka number 4. So in 4, each officer is given a unit type. There's 5. Normal, aka shit, offensive, tactical, defensive, and balanced. Normal types get beaten by anything, obviously. Offensive gets beaten by tactical, tactical gets beaten by defensive, and defensive by offensive. And finally, balance beats them all. Composing an army consisting of different officer or unit types would also be a factor, as well as where you place those units on the battlefield to counter the enemy's units would be the key to victory, adding an extra layer of strategic difficulty. Obviously, if you have a different or easier difficulty setting, then the differences between the unit types would be less and less, and then obviously if it's harder, the differences would be more and more. I think that's a decent idea to balance out a game. I don't know about you, but... Finally, morale. Make a clear distinction between this and troop strength. Have your morale deplete based on things like allies struggling to capture bases, falling into traps, or going too far into enemy lines. And make morale increase when you capture a base, even more if you capture one your allies struggled against, thwarting traps and defeating enemies, etc, etc. So what I'm saying of all this is difficulty should be based on the player's tactical prowess or negligence. Make the game harder for people that mindlessly hack away and easier for those that do not. So there we are, we've reached the end. No doubt I've forgotten something, but never mind. I realise I've sort of explained that Dynasty Warriors games should be total war games, but except replace the battles with Dynasty Warriors battles. There we go. No. I don't know what anybody thinks about that, but just for clarification, I doubt any of these will ever be in Warriors games, but it's nice to share ideas. And to address some cumrag that said, just admit you don't like the games and don't play them, well, one, go back to being fucked by your dad, and two, I make these videos because I love these games. It's just putting some ideas out there that the series can use to push some boundaries on game design and ultimately make a game that appeals to more people, so we can see bigger and more ambitious games, not just a reskin of the previous title and a name change. Just a thought, so you know, fuck off. There we go, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. What would you change, or what would you like to see? Let us all know. My next video will either be 5 reasons Zosang is the worst Dynasty Warriors edition, top 10 Warriors games, or dubs in Warriors games. I'll leave 3 comments below, and the one that has the most likes will be the one that I do. I'll also be doing my thoughts / a review on Berserk Musou nearer the end of January or early February, so look forward to that. Or don't. Thank you, and I will see you next time.